Courageous kindness takes practice. It's not an easy thing. And we're all going to be faced with different choices. And sometimes, it's interesting. It doesn't have to come from a conflict with somebody else. I'm going to be totally open and candid. I struggle with weight because I like to eat. I'm a human being and I enjoy my food. It's okay to enjoy food. It's just the matter of I need to do better about my portion size, what I choose to eat, and how often and stuff like that. And I know that I'm trying to find the courage to have the discipline to do what I need to do to be able to lose the weight I need to lose. And it's always been something that I've struggled with, but having the discipline to do that for me, is courageous kindness to myself. And obviously I am not there yet, but I'm working towards it. And we can, it's also, I think it's courageous kindness when we step back and say no sometimes. And you remember, I think it's Essentialism by Greg Keon?
Greg McKeown.
Greg McKeown, is and I can't remember what the little tagline is. It's basically the ability to say no when, there's times when, especially being the kind person that I am, I want sometimes to say yes to everybody that asks me to do stuff, but I've had to learn I can't do that. I have to have the courage to say no.
Yeah. The book is about eliminating the trivial many things to be able to say yes to the essential few.
Yeah. And so, you're correct that there's always going to be some kind of element of fear that triggers the need for courageous kindness to a degree. But I think there's also those times. Well, no, it's true. Even when we make our own courageous kindness, I fear, I want to, but I don't make sure I say this the right way, because it's better to act on faith than out of fear. So yes, I have fear that my weight is going to take me out of the picture a lot sooner than it should. But I also need to have faith that if I'm courageous enough and that I can get to the point where I can be courageous enough to do what I need to do, to discipline myself to do what I need to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that just like this conversation about fear, and I might push back on you on some of this.
Okay, push back.
There's a few words that you're using, I need to be this and I should be this. You got to eliminate those words from your vocabulary.
I do. I'll agree with you on that.
Because what are you telling yourself is that you should be something that you're not, right? Why? Why are you telling yourself that you should be something that you are not, right? Because then I am not acceptable as I am, right? There's a quote by a modern philosopher named Carl Rogers who says, "The curious paradox in life is when I accept myself as I am, then I change." Right? And so if I can accept and love myself exactly how I am, and so this is where I want to dig a little deeper into the conversation about kindness, is because sometimes the courage of kindness is how kind, who is sometimes the most unkind to me, who speaks to me in the most, vicious and demeaning ways that I would never speak to somebody else that way.
We say it to ourselves.
Myself.
So
the way that
the inner critic is up there having a party.
Exactly. Well, and I would say that maybe it's not me. It's the inner critic. It's the roommate. There's that inner voice that's kind of manifesting my own insecurities and so on.
Yeah.
And so that I would never treat somebody else the way that I sometimes speak to myself.